Welcome to Dragons Dogma 2. In this video we are going through my ultimate beginner guide. I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks to help you out in the game. And we're going to start this one off with number one. The most important thing at the start of the game is character creation. When you are creating your character, the bigger you are, the bigger your hitbox is going to be for enemies to hit you, but also the bigger your carrying weight capacity is, and you are also going to have slower stamina regen. And it works the opposite way for a smaller character. So the smaller you are means you've got a smaller hitbox, you've got faster stamina recovery, but you do have less carry weight. And you will be carrying a lot of different gear in the game, so it's about finding the right balance for your character. And once you have created your character, there's no way to go back and change it, at least at the start of the game. So make sure that you are comfortable with the way you have set your character up. Don't just find like a default type and just jump into the game with it, because you might want better stamina recovery, or you could want a bigger carrying capacity. Next up, number two, is to make sure that you are manually saving the game as often as you possibly can. Either doing this through resting at inns, or by pausing the game, going to system and selecting save and continue. Because Dragons Dogma 2 has an autosave feature which cannot be turned off, and it can save the game at the worst of times possible. It can ruin your entire game. Not only that, but you cannot delete your save data and start a new character, because they've got cloud data on their end, like the developers and stuff, and what that's going to do is sync up your game like with their save when you start the game again after deleting your save data. So basically you have one character and that's it. So make sure you're manually saving so that the game doesn't auto save in one of the worst possible places and ruin your entire game. And just a little side note for this one is that autosave will overwrite your manual save, so save as often as you possibly can. Next up, number three, is to not worry about vocation choice or class choice at the beginning of the game. And that is because when you reach the capital, it's roughly an hour or two into the game depending what you do before you make your way to the capital. When you are at the capital, you can visit the vocation guild and you can change your vocation whenever you like. So don't worry about which one you start the game with. Then number four is you get your main character and you get pawns. You're going to get a main pawn that's going to be with you throughout the entire game, and then you get two extras that you can hire. Make sure you are powering up your main pawn with strong gear and stuff, as other players can actually hire a copy of your pawn to play with in their game. But then when it comes to hiring pawns yourself, make sure to clear their inventory before letting them go, as if you fill up their inventory to lower your carry weight as an example, you give them loads of valuable stuff, when they leave they are going to take everything with them. So make sure to remember to take all of your stuff off your hired pawns before you let them go. And next up, number five, is that travel is mainly done through walking, like running around and stuff. There are no mounts in the game, but you will find places that you can use to fast travel, although the resource required to be able to fast travel is limited, and it's expensive if you're buying it off vendors, so get used to the exploring in this game. There is an ox cart that you can use, but it's not going to be used all the time. Your main exploration is done through walking and running around. Then next up, number six, is always clear your inventory. Get rid of the useless stuff before you go traveling, and you can do that by using the inn storage. And you're going to want to do that because you are going to easily become heavier through picking things up whilst exploring, and that is going to affect your stamina as well, which is going to be really bad if you come across enemies on your travels. If you become over encumbered, you won't be able to sprint or even jump, and you're going to walk around a lot slower. And not only that, the inn storage is universal, so you can use any storage like from any inn in any village in the game. And not only that, you do have 1,000 slots in the storage, so just make sure that you're getting rid of your useless stuff before you go out adventuring. Then next up, number seven, is that there are commands for your pawn. You'll see them at the bottom left of your screen. And there are 4 of them available, but 2 of them are really important. Those are go and help. Go is going to make your pawn more aggressive in combat, and they're going to help you out with quests and stuff if they have the quest guide ability. And help is going to be more healing based in combat, and they're going to help you find resources and stuff out of combat. So always make sure you're looking at the dialogue and you're listening to your pawns, because one of them might say, oh, I remember this place, there's a chest nearby. Then if you use the command go, they're going to take you directly to that chest. And not only that, if they have quest guide available, they are able to lead you directly to the quest location. Then next up, number 8, is to always make sure that you have a camping kit on you, even if you make your pawn carry it, because when you come across a campfire, you can set up camp. You can also cook food to get buffs, and you can rest to recover your health. The camping kits are not a one-time use, so don't worry about that. You can use them as much as you want. like whenever you come across a campfire. But when you are set up with your camp, don't go cooking loads of food, because you're going to get buffs that when you cook food, if you cook something, for an example, it's going to give you +4 on some of your stats. If you then go and cook something that only gives you +1, that's going to overwrite the better stats. You're basically getting the buffs of your last cooked bit of food. But always carry a camping kit around, because you never know when you're going to need to rest a little bit, when you're going to want some extra buffs and stuff. It's just really, really important for your journeys and your experience. And then next up, number 9 is nighttime enemies are a pain, but enemies that don't spawn during the day can appear at night. But make sure you are careful if you are wandering around at night, because the game gets very, very dark. Sometimes you can't see a foot in front of your character. And at the start of the game, you're going to have a lantern which is fueled, so it's got a limited use. So I'd say at the start of the game, don't go wandering around too much at night time, but definitely experience it, because there's going to be some unique stuff that happens when you're playing at night. And next up, number 10 is enchanting gear. And this is really, really important to improve stats, and it can be done as early as when you reach the capital. Your first level of enchantment, at least on your starting gear, is just going to cost a tiny bit of gold. But as you enchant it more, you're going to need materials. So when you get to the higher levels, you're going to need materials as well as gold. So make sure that you are happy with your gear before enchanting to higher levels. But you do earn a lot of gold in the game just by completing quests and killing enemies and stuff. So don't worry about the first level that's only going to cost you like 20 to 40 gold. It's absolutely no worry to spend that amount of gold. And then last but definitely not least, you are going to find materials and things from enemies. But the main way to get yourself new gear is from chests that you are going to find. I believe there are 3 different types of chests in the game. So if your pawns say to you there's a chest nearby, make sure that you let them show you exactly where it is. It's not going to take them long to lead you to the chest location, and you're going to get new gear that way. But not only that, as stated in a previous tip about the pawns and using their commands, they can just go over the chests and they can go and gather materials and stuff on their own. So the pawns are really, really helpful, not just for combat, but also for helping you find gear and stuff in your travels. And that is my ultimate beginner guide, some tips and tricks for Dragons Dogma 2. And what we're going to do is leave that video there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff about this game in the comments. I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you out. Thank you for watching.